Most setup guides are made by people with a permanent desk setup and a second monitor they've never had to carry. This one is made by someone who's edited at hostels, sky lounges, and airport gates across 21 countries. I started editing videos when I was 14, but over the years I became a proper video editor. I now edit videos for channels with over 1 million subscribers, and I do this remotely. I was born in Belgium, am currently living in Bangkok, and I've been traveling ever since 2014. So when it comes to a remote video editing setup, I've got a pretty strong opinion. In this video, I'm gonna rank 27 items. Everything from your laptop to your chair to things you probably never even considered. And there's one item that most remote video editors ignore that I'm gonna be putting on S tier. First up, we have home Wi-Fi. This is one of the main things that I'm looking for whenever I'm looking for an Airbnb or a hotel that I'm staying at. Oftentimes they will put screenshots of the Wi-Fi speed. 100% recommend this. This is an easy one. This one is going in the S tier for sure. Next up, we got the laptop. Now, the laptop is obviously the workhorse of your whole setup. If you don't have a laptop, it's gonna be hard for you to travel. So I don't think we're gonna put this in S tier. I think I'm gonna put this in A tier for the reason being that it doesn't really matter which laptop you have anymore. Like basically all the MacBooks are good laptops. It doesn't matter if it's a 14-inch, a 16-inch, or if it's 2 or 3 years old. Generally speaking, if you got a laptop from the last 3-4 years, you should be good. So for that reason, it's easy, it's going in A tier. Next up, we got air conditioning. If you've ever traveled to a country where it's like really hot and you want to make sure you actually get some work done, air conditioning helps you to make sure you're actually in a very comfortable work environment. Now, on the other hand, if the air conditioning is not that good at your place or you don't have it, you could always work in a co-working space or a coffee shop or something like that. So for those reasons, I'll put it at a B. It's a nice to have. Ideally you have it, but if you don't, I mean, there's other ways around it. We move on to portable SSDs. I live and die by these things. They are essential to my daily editing workflow. I personally never edit off the internal SSD of my laptop. So for that reason, I'll drop it right alongside the actual laptop. You know what? Actually, I'll place it S tier. It's more important than your actual laptop, because if you lose that, you lose your entire project. So this one is super important. Don't cheap out on this. Next up, we got a desk chair or a decent chair. You don't want to know what types of chairs I've edited on in my life. I distinctly remember editing off some really cheap white plastic chairs when I was in Mexico for the first time, and my back got like absolutely destroyed. So this is one of the key things I look for when I'm scouting Airbnb for a new accommodation, is what types of chairs are in the accommodation, and does it look like a decent chair that I could actually sit on, not just for one day or for a couple of hours, but could I actually sit on this for entire weeks, maybe months, depending on how long I stay. Like, is this a chair I want to sit on a day-to-day basis? For example, here in Bangkok, I'm staying for a couple of months and I bought my own desk chair. Like, I didn't want to deal with having a cheap plastic chair to sit on. So desk chair, nice chair. If you don't have it, again, you could work outside of your accommodation. So I don't think it's S tier, but it is still very, very, very important. Let's place it at A tier. We move on to noise cancelling headphones. This is again like one of these game changers. I don't understand how a couple of years ago we didn't have this. How the hell were people editing in coffee shops and stuff like this without having the noise cancelling headphones? Super, super essential part to my workflow. I use them daily for multiple hours. I could do without them, so you know what, I'll place it also in A tier. Then we have the wired headphones. They kind of go hand in hand. I do prefer noise cancelling for all the reasons I just listed, so wired headphones, I'll place them at a D. Next up, we got a universal travel adapter. Different countries actually have different plug sockets, and so your laptop charger or your phone charger might not always work. Now, it's one of these things when if you don't have it or you didn't come prepared, you could always buy it in the destination. They're also pretty cheap to get, so I'll just place it at a B. The next one is an external monitor. Video editors obviously need a color accurate display, and more screen real estate is usually better. Now, can you do without it? I personally have a 16-inch MacBook Pro, which does the job just fine, but it is still like way more pleasant for me to work whenever I do have a bigger display available. So for that reason, I'll also place it in the B tier. It's nice to have, not essential, but it does make work easier, faster, and more comfortable. We move on to a laptop sleeve, which is something you use to protect your laptop. I don't have one. I think it's a gimmick, not necessary. This one is going... It's not complete garbage, maybe not F tier, let's go with D tier. Next up, standing desk. It's one of these things where on paper it looks amazing for you to take care of your back and of your posture by standing up every once in a while. I actually used to have a standing desk back in Belgium when I had a more permanent setup over there, and I ended up using the standing feature a lot for like the first week, and after that I was just seated at my desk, and whenever I felt like actually standing up, I would just stand up and go for a walk. You don't need this stuff, this is F tier. Next up on the list is an external HDD. You know, like these old school hard drives. I actually think I got one laying around here. It's like these bad boys. I actually think it's very underrated because the thing is, when you're traveling for extended periods of time, it's actually a nice way for you to make duplicates of your final projects for long-term storage without actually eating up storage space on your SSDs. It's not really an issue to have enough storage space when you're traveling for like a couple of weeks or maybe like 2 months. But when you're traveling for like years on end, it is still a nice thing to have. So for that reason, I don't think it's absolutely necessary. B maybe feels a little too high. I feel like C is a good spot for it. Then we move on to co-working spaces. Now I do go through cycles where I go more to co-working spaces and less to co-working spaces. One of the reasons why I like them is because it's a very easy place to actually connect with like-minded people, as well as it's a great place to have some social control. So on days where it feels like you're kind of slacking a little bit at home or you're like a little bit slow, then going to a co-working space is usually a good move just because everybody else around you is actually working, so you're actually more inclined to do the work yourself. So for those reasons, I'll put co-working spaces. You know what? I'll put it in S tier. Now, real quick, I just recorded a free step-by-step guide on how I applied for my 5-year digital nomad visa here in Thailand called the DTV. Now, in that video, I show you the exact documents that I submitted and how you can do the same. Visa agencies are charging $700 for this. $700! And I'm sharing all of this for free. Click the link in the description to check it out now. Or if you're not sure if Thailand is actually the right place for you, but you still want to go remote, I recently opened up some one-on-one slots where you can talk to me personally to go over your exact situation, what options you have, and map out a realistic plan so you too can live your best life and edit videos while traveling the world. That link is in the description too. Next up, frame.io or any other tools that might be out there to give and receive remote feedback on videos. This is a time saver. This saves so many meetings, so much communication. This is essential to my workflow. I'll put it in A tier. Yeah, A feels good. We move on to a D brand skin. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, D brand skins are cool. Are they necessary? Not really. I actually used to have one on my previous 14-inch MacBook Pro, but I recently upgraded to a 16-inch. It's actually the first time in a couple of years where I don't have a D brand skin. Does it feel like I'm missing something? Not really. Am I maybe gonna get a couple of scratches that I would have not gotten when I would have a D brand skin? Yeah, you know what? I'll put it in, yeah, C tier. It's cool to have, definitely not necessary. We move on to a mouse mat. You literally see it in every gear review video. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't have one with me. I don't travel with one. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments. But hey, this one, I'm gonna put it in D tier. We got a power bank up next. It's an important thing because obviously when you're doing longer travels, maybe you have like a flight day, or maybe you're doing a long bus ride or a train ride, you're moving around, or you're out for the entire day, especially in warmer environments, your battery of your phone might die more quickly. I don't think it's A tier. S tier is definitely overkill. I feel like B tier, the good power bank, is definitely nice to have. iPads. Now we have a juicy one. iPads. What do I think about iPads? When I had my 14-inch MacBook Pro and I was editing on that one exclusively, the screen real estate was often too little, and so I got myself an iPad Pro. Well, honestly, mainly to use the sidecar feature where you use your iPad as a secondary display, and I did use it quite a lot. Now I did upgrade to a 16-inch MacBook Pro, and ever since I did, I don't really use the iPad for my secondary display anymore. So if you have a 14-inch, I would place it in A tier, but since I have my 16-inch MacBook Pro now, I'll place it in B tier. Next one in the list, a Magic Trackpad. I actually do have one right here, so I'm guilty. I cannot rate it too low. Is it absolutely mandatory? Again, not really, because you have your trackpad built into your laptop and obviously it has the same functionality. You don't gain anything with a Magic Trackpad other than the fact that you can be more far away from your laptop and maybe put it on a laptop stand or something. So for those reasons, I don't think it's that important. I'll place it in a C tier. Next up, we got a mouse. I think every video editor needs a good mouse. The one I use is the Logitech MX Master 3S. I think a good mouse is important. Do you need like the latest and greatest? Maybe not, but a good mouse is definitely a game changer. Helps also with wrist mobility and making sure you don't get injured. Can you get injured from editing? Yes, if you edit 12 hours a day or 10 hours a day, whatever, like long days, please take care of your wrists. So a mouse, I'm actually gonna place it all the way in A tier. Not necessary, but close to S tier. We move on to Dropbox or Google Drive, any sort of like online storage solution system. First things first, I want to say here is they're all overpriced. These companies love charging for the storage. So I don't want to place it that high just because I don't feel like spending money on it is that good of an investment. As a matter of fact, it's kind of an annoying recurring expense. I definitely don't love paying for it. Can I do without it? Also not really. I'm kind of reliant on it. So I'll place it in the B tier, yeah. Next up, we got a power strip or an extension cord. This is actually the first thing I always put in my suitcase whenever I'm packing for a trip. I make sure I have at least one power strip with me, and I'll tell you why. Two reasons. First of all, if you're traveling to Airbnbs, plug sockets might not always be as accessible as you would like to, especially if you got like an iPad, you got a MacBook, you got your phone, all of these things to charge. You might not have that many plug sockets available in your Airbnb. So having a good power strip saves you by just using one plug socket and having one charging station. The second reason being, if you're traveling to a country where you would have to use a travel adapter for you to actually use the plug sockets, you can use one universal travel adapter, plug your power strip in there and get 3, 4, 5 or even 6 plug sockets, all from just one universal travel adapter. So this one is a definite S tier. Next one in the list is an eSIM. I personally get my eSIMs on an app called Nomad. I recommend it. This way you avoid high roaming costs. I personally always make sure that I have an eSIM of the country I'm traveling to before I actually attend my flight, so that when I land I can activate that eSIM and I have data coverage for me to actually book a ride from the airport to my accommodation. As well as if the Wi-Fi is not that great at your accommodation, and connect your laptop to the data plan to upload some files in case you need to do so. So for all of these reasons, we're gonna put eSIMs in the A tier. An actual desk or a table. So this one is not a standing desk. This is just like any sort of good table or desk. Again, it's one of these things where I immediately look for it on Airbnb. If I don't find a place with a good table, I don't even consider that as a place for me to stay. So you at least need a good kitchen table. Ideally, it's a desk. I'm gonna put a good desk or a good table in S tier because I've tried to work in places that don't have good desks or don't have decent tables. This is a definite S tier, more important than the chair. Next up, we got a laptop stand. That's actually one of the things I haven't really invested in up to a couple of months ago. And ever since I started working with a laptop stand, my posture has been much nicer because my laptop is now raised. And when it is raised, I no longer like hunchback. I'm not the hunchback of Notre Dame. I'm actually in a way more ergonomic posture, take better care of myself, and therefore have way fewer back constraints because of it. So for these reasons, it's not essential, but it is pretty important. I'll place it in a B or C, let's go C. Next up, we got a backpack. Listen, the backpack is the thing that's going to contain all of your gear that you're traveling with on a day-to-day basis. Not just when you're actually boarding a flight and you got all of your gear in it, but also every time you're going to a co-working space or to a coffee bar or discover a new place and you want to bring your laptop with you. All of your gear is going to go in that backpack. So let's place it in A tier. And the last one on the list is the nano texture display technology on your MacBook. Basically what it does is it reduces the glare that you have in your screen. And the thing is, when you're working remotely, you often find yourself in unpredictably lit environments, especially if you're traveling to like warm countries, you're going to beachy areas, sunny areas, cities like Bangkok. Oftentimes, when you have a glossy screen, it's really hard for you to actually see what's going on. So if you are in the market for a new laptop, I highly recommend going for a laptop with a nano texture display. So this one is a massive S tier for me. And that is all 27 items ranked. Now, if you disagree with any of them, then let me know in the comments. I reply to every single comment on these videos. Now, I hope that this video gave you some clarity on the fact that a good remote setup is not about having the most amount of gear. It's about having the right gear for how you actually work. Now, if you want to take the next step and you actually want to build a remote life around this, apply for a 5-year visa so you too can live your best life here in Bangkok, I've got a free step-by-step video guide on that in the description. Go click the link below for that. Or if you want to go elsewhere, but you're not really sure where or how to do it sustainably, you can book a free one-on-one consultancy call with me down below, where we go over your exact situation, where you're currently at, and where you can realistically go to and edit remotely. Link for that is in the description. Now, if you liked this video, YouTube recommends that you watch this video next. You should check it out. Did like some YouTube stuff and found this one specifically for you. Check it out. Peace out.